The search for Egyptian blue. Egyptian blue was the first synthetic pigment, and it was produced by the Egyptians around 2800 BCE. In De Architectura, Vitruvius describes the production of Egyptian blue as grinding sand with copper and natron, then heating this mixture and shaping it into small balls, and finally baking it in a furnace. The pigment, which became widespread in all Mediterranean cultures, mysteriously disappears from use around the 3rd century CE. Egyptian blue was the only stable blue pigment used in fresco paintings. So the question of how and why Egyptian blue disappears from use is motivation for our research. In our search for Egyptian blue, we use 2 different portable, non-invasive, and non-destructive techniques called visible-induced luminescence and X-ray fluorescence. Visible-induced luminescence, or VIL, takes advantage of the ability of Egyptian blue to emit in the infrared region of the electromagnetic spectrum when it is irradiated with a source of visible light, such as a flash or an LED lamp. Here on the right, we can see 2 photographs. The first is a visible light photograph of a fresco painting prepared in the lab with multiple pigments, including Egyptian blue. The second photograph is a VIL image of the same fresco painting, and it shows the luminescence of Egyptian blue. The second technique we used is X-ray fluorescence, or XRF. During XRF testing, a painting is bombarded with X-rays. The atoms that make up the pigments in the painting re-emit X-rays in the form of a spectrum, which is a signature of the actual pigments present. For example, we can identify blue pigments based on their chemical makeup, answering questions such as, is this blue made of cobalt or copper? Here we can see the XRF setup and an X-ray spectrum showing signals for silicon, calcium, and copper, which are the elements that make up Egyptian blue. Here are some examples of wall painting fragments we analyzed at Ostia Antica. Stephanie is discussing the VIL photos with archaeologist Paolo Tomasini, while Jesse analyzes a fragment with XRF. Up to the 1st century CE, Egyptian blue was widely used. It was located here on a significantly degraded wall painting of a garden, located in Herculaneum. In this study, VIL allows not only for the detection of Egyptian blue, but also displays details of the painting nearly lost in visible light. Our search to answer the question of Egyptian blue takes us to Ostia Antica, a unique ancient Roman city that continued to function well beyond the fall of the Roman Empire in the 5th century CE. Unlike the ancient cities of Herculaneum and Pompeii, which were buried during the eruption of Mount Vesuvius in 79 CE, Ostia's longevity as a city allows for the search of Egyptian blue through multiple centuries. Here is Ostia Antica and the buildings where our team analyzed wall paintings in search for Egyptian blue. This is our first trip, and we hope to return to continue our study after the pandemic. The buildings we studied varied on their construction dates and their function, from a bathhouse to a temple for the good goddess, to a bakery, an apartment complex, and a house with a small mitreo, a temple to the god Mithras. Here is our team in action searching for Egyptian blue on a partially excavated painting of the Republican era, 1st century BCE. The painting is being analyzed by VIL on the left and by XRF on the right. Here is a visible light photograph and VIL image we obtained from this wall painting. VIL shows that Egyptian blue was not only used on the geometric areas of the painting, but also to shade and contour the face of this theater mask. This not only gives us information on the presence of Egyptian blue, but also on the artist's technique. In summary, so far we have only detected Egyptian blue in wall paintings up to the 2nd century CE, but not in all buildings dating to that time. For example, no blue was found in the apartment complex, although it dates to 130 CE. The question of Egyptian blue continues until we can travel again. For further information of this study, please see the additional video provided and follow our team on Instagram at Pratt Ostia Project. This project on Egyptian blue is part of a larger study of the materials and techniques of Ostian wall paintings, a partnership between Pratt, the University of Aachen, and the University of Louvain.